Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's post-game reaction after the Raiders' 23-6 win over the New England Patriots. It's presented by Craggy Games. If y'all plan on tailgating this year, if you want an awesome game to just hang out with your bros, hell, you want to bring the girls in, play a little bit, it's all good. Go to craggygames.com, use code Raiders to save 15% off. If you watch the halftime show at all this entire preseason, we were playing Craggy Games. Jeremy and I, we were having a hell of a time, and I think you guys will too. So coming up here, y'all, is going to be our instant reaction to the Raiders' win over the Patriots. And I get it. It's preseason, but we didn't just win one game. We didn't win 2 games. Not 3, but 4. 4-0. Spam just won, baby. We're undefeated. 21-0? I don't know. It might happen. So after this game, Raiders come away with a win. And 23-6. A lot of people are not going to talk about the fact that the Raiders' second and third stringers went up against New England's first stringers, realistically most of the first half, and beat them. I know the Raiders won Tuesday's joint practice. I know the Raiders won Wednesday's joint practice. But from top to bottom, the Raiders dominated this game, just like they dominated most of the preseason. Jared Stidham, 4-6, 72 yards. Zamir White, 5 carries, 17 yards, and a touchdown. I mean, from a receiving standpoint, Keelan Cole led the way with 3 for 44. You saw a deep catch down there from Tyron Johnson for 1 for 45. I thought Jesper Horsted played pretty well in today's game. But overall, I can sit up here and say a lot of really good takeaways from today's game. And if you don't think Josh McDaniels, if you don't think 9 of the Raiders coaches, 9 of the Raiders players who were previously with that New England regime underneath Bill Belichick cared about today's game, you're wrong. You are simply just wrong. So, if y'all are ready for the regular season, if y'all are ready for this team who has done a lot of good stuff this offseason to go to the playoffs, and I don't want to just go to the playoffs, damn it, I want to win some playoff games. And I think if you add some certain pieces like a Darrell Williams, maybe you added in Ndamukong Suh, this team is not only just a playoff team, much greater aspirations. So please, spam just one, baby. Let's go to Hayward Pratt. What up, my guy? Hey, Mitch, why not move Leatherwood to the practice squad? He'll be safe there, get good work. He's not going to be safe there. You put Alex Leatherwood on your practice squad, another team signs him immediately. Like, I get Leatherwood's been getting ripped on. He played a ton in this game, but was playing very, very late. Very confusing to me why he's only playing right tackle. Like, there was a report that came out that he's going to start playing some offensive guard. I do not get why he's not playing guard. People are going to go out there and they're going to hate on him. I've been very tough on Leatherwood as well. But he has gotten the short end of the stick in terms of he is an offensive guard. It is mind-blowing to me that not only this regime, but last regime, threw him out there at right tackle. You're not doing right by him. And I was told by a source that Leatherwood is kind of fed up with this whole Raiders organization. So we'll see what happens. But there's been a lot of rumors around trades, around cuts. Doesn't make sense to cut him, though, because you're going to eat almost $8 million in dead cap hit. Keep Leatherwood as a backup, or you trade him. If somebody's team is willing to offer me a 3rd or a 4th round pick, I'll take it in a heartbeat. So what do we do with number 70, y'all? Drafted number 17 overall. Again, another example of why I'll continue to say John Gruden and Mike Mayock are going to go down in history as one of the worst head coach, general manager combinations of all time. And now, sure, the Raiders have won games. They have. But look at all the failed first-round picks. Look at all the failed free agent signings. All the failed trades that organization made. It's a joke, man. So what do you do with Alex Leatherwood? Do you keep him type K? Do you trade him type T? Or do you just cut him outright type C? My personal opinion, if you can get a 3rd or a 4th round pick, you trade him. If somebody offers you a 5th, nope, not going to take it. I think more likely the Raiders end up keeping Alex Leatherwood. Let's go to Raider Nation. You're next up here on the Raiders Report. You think Luke Masterson will be a starter? He's been looking great in the preseason. Starter? No. Do I think he makes the 53-man roster? Yeah, he had an interception tonight. He's flying all over the football field. Doesn't only give you that option on defense, he also offers some special teams value. He made a few key tackles tonight in today's game, especially on Marcus Johnson, who was not easy to bring down whatsoever. But on top of that, Masterson, not that I think he's not a bad player, but you got Divine Diablo, Denzel Perriman, Jayon Brown. Like, a lot of other non-Raider fans will sit here and say the Raiders linebacker room's not great. Perriman's legit. Jayon Brown's one of the best coverage linebackers in the NFL, and Perriman's one of the best run stoppers in the league. So, do I think he starts? No, but he's a legit player, man. He's shown me a lot today. He showed me a lot this entire preseason. Let's go to Bill Holloway. What up, my guy? Garber's had some style as Carr. Make him number 2. No. Garber's was a fun experiment, and I get that you can fall in love with certain players in the preseason. You're not the first person that has hit me up about, oh, Garber's has looked better than Stidham. Maybe you're not saying that, maybe you are, but keep him as number 2, you are. This kind of reminds me of, remember a few preseasons ago when the Raiders had Chris Warren, led the NFL preseason in rushing yards, and Chris Warren had an amazing preseason. But when you go up against backups, or when you go up against the other talent that this team has, it doesn't make sense. And Garber's, let's just say he's more talented. For Josh McDaniels, what's more important for your practice squad, or what's more important for your backup, is to be able to execute plays. Derek's your starter. Jarrett Stidham knows the offense. That's why you traded for him, and he's going to be able to execute the offense during practice. Practice goes a long way with Josh McDaniels. B-Ray, what up, my guy? I feel like Bauer solidified a roster spot tonight. I'm going to disagree. I don't think that he has. If I'm the Raiders, I get that Jacob Hollister hasn't played. But I do a lot of homework on these players. I analyze a lot of tape. Hollister, to me, is still the best backup tight end behind Foster, behind Darren Waller. Like, if it was up to me, I'm still going to keep Hollister. And then if you're a little bit worried about Waller's injury history, you keep Horsted. Because to me, Horsted's your best pass-catching tight end out of all the names, not named Waller or Moreau. So to me, I'm not keeping Nick Bowers. If you're talking about just Bauer, then that's a different story, man. So what do you think, y'all? Who was the Raiders MVP versus the Patriots tonight? Let me know down in the comments section right now. My initial gut reaction, and when I look at the stats here, I'm going to go with the name that I went with last week. It's Deshaun Bauer. Deshaun Bauer continues to show me that he deserves a shot on this team. And if the Raiders 53 roster comes out and Bauer's not on it, it's going to be a gut punch. Because if you're a UDFA, if you're a player fighting for a spot, and if Bauer can't make it after 4 preseason games of 5 sacks, like multiple tackles for loss, a lot of pressures flying over the field, giving you that energy, then what are you playing for? If you're the Raiders, you saw what Bauer gave you. He gave you a lot of heart. He gave you a lot of energy. Deshaun Bauer, as far as I'm concerned, deserves a spot on this Raiders roster. Now, remember, y'all, if you want an awesome game to play while you're tailgating, while you're hanging out with your bros, I mean, when I have people come over to my house, I'm always like, hey, you guys want to play Flip Cup? You want to play some beer pong? Try out Craggy Games, y'all. I'm telling you, you're going to have such a good time. You can play one-on-one. You can play a game called Hot Potato. You can play a game where it's like 3v3, 7v7. It doesn't matter. Get your hands on this amazing game. The game that Jeremy and I play all the time is called Hooks. But if you use code Raiders, you can save 15%. Where at CraggyGames.com. You can get 2 different boards right now where you can get the hooks and the ladders. You can get it in burnt. You can get it in also the, I guess, white wood is the way that I would say that. But ultimately, man, this game is a hell of a game. It's a lot of fun, super competitive, and at the end of the day, I look at it as almost like nobody's a master of it, but everyone can play it, and you're going to have a good time. So that's going to be in the comments and in the description of today's video. Let's go to Patrick. What up, my guy? If the Raiders go out and sign Darrell Williams and Ndamukong Suh, the nation expects you and Chugs to get totally drunk. I'm going to make you a deal right now. Chugs, I'm going to tell you all right now. If the Raiders sign Darrell Williams and Ndamukong Suh, I will go live for 24 straight hours. You don't have to go live, but I will go live for 24 straight hours. Both of them. If you sign one, Darrell Williams, I'm live for 12 hours. If you sign Ndamukong Suh, I'm live for 12 hours. You sign both of them, 24 straight hours. No, I'm not going to do that. He wants me to do that. I'm not going to do it. But 24 straight hours Raiders Sport. That's my deal. I'm a man of my word. Man of my word. Matthew DeLong. Zuber played a good game. He had an okay game. Like, He made a few clutch catches, so was targeted 4 times. He brought in that one catch, was phenomenal. Trapped it up against his helmet. Phenomenal coverage there by the New England defender. I almost felt bad for him. But he had one catch for 7 yards and a pick. And the pick, I get it's a pick, but he was literally just back there as a safety, and all of a sudden, ball's in his lap, right? So Zuber's not going to make the team. Raiders are going to end up keeping 5 or 6 wide receivers. I think it really comes down to it's going to be Devontae, Hunter, Matt Collins, Tyron Johnson, Keelan Cole, and then whether or not they want to keep DJ Turner. What up, Power Plus? Webb may deserve a spot. He may. He really may. And there's like 5 players on this team. Luke Masterson, Darian Butler, Sam Webb. I'll throw out the name. DJ Turner's probably number 4. And then, honestly, it gets to like a guy like Alex Bars for me. Of who is going to be the final roster spot guys. Webb's up there. He's a coin flip to me. I think he deserves it. I could also make the argument why he's not going to make the team, but I agree with you. I'll tell you this, though. I'm going to be going live on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, probably around then when the Raiders make their final roster cuts. So if you don't know, Las Vegas has to get down. They have 80 guys on the roster now. You got to get down to 53. I'm going to be live on Tuesday, breaking it all down for y'all, all the roster cuts that the Silver and Black made. We're going to be having a good time. We're going to be partying, and I hope that y'all have to join in for me. So please hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, because it's going to be a very, very important week. Let's go to JD. What up, my guy? The right side of the offensive line is trash, bro. Leatherwood got to go. You're not going to cut him, though. If you cut Alex Leatherwood, it's $8 million against your dead cap. You have $2 million right now? You cut him, you go from 22 all the way down to 14. Why? Like, I get the idea that people want to move on from him, but it doesn't make sense. Like, you might as well just keep him up as a backup. If someone wants to trade for you, sure. But to let him go for just to let him go, that doesn't make sense. Unless he's just an absolute cancer in the locker room. It doesn't make sense. Let's go to Lamar. Who's the surprise player who will make the 53? I mean, I've said this for weeks. Luke Masterson, man. He had a pick today. He looks good on special teams. The UDFA out of Wake Forest, Luke Masterson, he's going to make the roster. That's my prediction. So what do you think, y'all, tonight? Raiders win 23-6. Thought the defense played well. Thought the offense played well from top to bottom, man. A, B, C, D, or F. We've all been to school, hopefully. Grade the Raiders' performance against the Patriots. A, you loved it. B, it was good. C, it was average. D, it was bad. F, it's effing terrible. I'm going to give this team an A. Was the offense great? No. But you know what? The defense was. And I've watched a lot of Raiders football over the past few seasons where I just want to see a good defense. If the Raiders could be a top 15 defense this year, they're winning 12 games. I'm telling y'all right now, with the offense that this team has, with Patrick Graham, this team's winning 12 games. Let's go to Kyle. What up, my guy? Devontae at wide receiver 1, Hunter at slot. Who do you want to see as wide receiver 2? I like to be Tyron Johnson. I think it's actually going to depend. I think you're going to see a lot of different looks here. If the season were to start today, from what I've been told, I actually think it's Matt Collins. And I know what the depth chart says. This is off my initial gut reaction of Keelan Cole. But the fact that Keelan played a little bit later in today's game compared to, a guy like Tyron, Matt Collins didn't play at all. I am a big, big believer that it's going to be Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Waller are your top 3 targets, and then it's going to be Matt Collins for a deep threat in terms of red zone. But if you need to pick up a clutch first down, I'm going to throw out Keelan Cole. If you need to go for a deep ball, I'm going to throw out Tyron Johnson. The Raiders have a lot more versatility, and that's never a bad thing. Robert Darr, what up, my guy? Mitch, don't get too cocky. Vic football. Still have a glaring problem at right tackle as well as right guard. Like, clean up the guard issues as far as right tackle going to be a problem. I mean, right tackle is a problem. I thought Jermaine Illuminor started tonight. Looked pretty good. I've said multiple times that I like Jermaine Illuminor. He's a average offensive lineman from top to bottom. But if, God forbid, if Illuminor were to go down, Parker's not going to play this season. He's not. Sorry, he's not. I know what reports have said. I'm going to stick to my word. Parker's not going to play this season unless maybe he has a chance to play in December. Who's after that, though, right? Like, if you don't Thayer Munford, I want to see him out there, but he's got a lot of injury issues. The Raiders need to fix the right side of the offensive line. Go sign Darrell Williams. Even if it's $12 million at this point, is that a lot of money? Yes. But what good, if you don't have an offensive line, what good is it to spend all the money you did on the offensive side of the football? It doesn't make sense to me. What up, Danny? Mitch, I'm taking my son to his first Raiders game in L.A. versus the Chargers. Super excited. Another Raider in the making. That's awesome, dude. For those of you that don't know, I'm a sucker for cool dad stories. My dad's my best friend. He was at the Raiders game today. He's already sent me a bunch of pictures of people who noticed him, so that's really, really cool. If you watch this on a later date, you ran into my pops. Dope, but have a good time with your son, my guy. It's going to be a memory that I promise you're gonna remember forever. All right, y'all, if I didn't get to your question, friendly reminder, you can always hit me up on IG. You can hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. If you want to hit me up on Venmo as well. I want to start adding people to my Venmo because we're going to start doing some 50-50 raffles during the regular season. But shout out to the nation. I do want to go through some other super chats before we end the live show. Okay. So, appreciate everyone who tuned in. That's the post-game reaction, and we're going to keep this live show going.